Well, it's May 19th, and I'm in the Guadalupe Mountains National Park. Just left the trailhead right down there. In fact, that's my blue truck I can see over the top of the building. There's the tent campsites there, headquarters down there. I'm going to do the Capitan trail, which ends at the Williams Ranch House. It's just going to be an out and back trail. It's about 9.7 miles each way to the ranch house, about 9.2 to the campsite where I'm staying tonight, the Chimard Canyon campsites, or the Chimard campsites. So this trail, the El Capitan trail, it's 9.5 miles to Williams Ranch House, but there is another trail that loops off of this trail. It's 3 miles long. It's called the Salt Basin Trail. And my original plan was to link them together, which would have made a 12.5 mile first day. But I've already done that trail back in January. So I'm not going to do it today. So it'll just be a shorter day today, just a little over 9 miles. It's already about 75 degrees, which was the high for today was supposed to be 75. So it's probably going to be a little hotter than it was expecting to be, but that's usual here. But there's zero wind, which is great for this place. There is supposed to be a little wind tonight, 10 to 15 miles an hour. 40% chance of rain and thunderstorms tonight, and then again tomorrow. But today it's sunny, hardly any clouds, and looks like it's going to be a great day. These flowers are pretty. It's a water trough. Well, about a mile in, there's a pretty good look at this side of El Capitan. Barely see headquarters still over there, and we're still right beside the highway down there. We'll follow that until we turn and I guess head back north up away from the highway. After we skirt around the base of El Capitan. The wind has started to pick up a little, which actually feels pretty good. It's keeping things cooler. So it's not strong, so not bad. This trail was never really on my list of trails that I had planned on doing when I would plan trips up here. For one, I've been to the Williams Ranch. There used to be a Jeep road you could take back there, but it's washed out in the floods and they haven't rebuilt it. But I've been there a couple of times, and I really like going up into the mountains, into the pine trees. Desert is not my favorite. Alright, well, I made it to the top of this climb. If you see the trail, it goes back in there and then all the way around down in there. So almost 2 miles, about an hour and 20 minutes in. Well, we're coming up over our first good views of the other side. Oh, the wind feels pretty good. See the highway down there, rest area. And those crop circles out there are for Del City. And somebody built a nice little chair right here to look over. So I'm going to take a break here, have some water, and eat something, catch my breath, because unfortunately now the trail is going to come down, and then down in there, I don't know if you can see those hitching posts down there for the horses. That's where we're going to drop down to, and then you can immediately see the trail climbing back up, and then it goes out right up there. And once we get up there, we'll have most of the climbing out of the way, although I think it still climbs a little bit even from there. Some more up and downs, but the Salt Basin Trail cutoff or junction is at those hitching posts, and it comes down this way, goes around that hill there, comes back up, and then goes around that point there, and then follows the edge, and then it meets back in up here at the high point on the El Capitan Trail. And this canyon is Guadalupe Canyon, and down there you can see the highway, and that's where you can park there. And there's a turnstile in the fence, so the Park Service will, they'll tell you about it. It's allowed. You can see an old road come up there, and it's paved. There's asphalt. You go through the turnstile, and you come up that asphalt road until it runs into a trail, and that trail comes up, and then it crosses this creek. I think it comes all the way up to here, and then it joins to the Salt Basin Trail. So you can do the Salt Basin Trail without doing the El Capitan Trail. Alright, well, I'm up in Guadalupe Canyon. It's El Capitan, and if you look out that way, you can see the highway down there, a big truck going by. And over on the left, here's the trail that I came down. I'll be going out tomorrow. But in this canyon is Guadalupe Spring, which I believe is down there in that little greener area. And then there's also the remains of a dugout shelter that was built by a guy named Geronimo Segura, and the ranger called him Geronimo Segura. So I don't know if it's Geronimo or Geronimo, but it's spelled Geronimo, G-E-R. So Geronimo came up here and near Guadalupe Spring built a dugout shelter. And what the ranger told me is look for the largest alligator juniper tree you can find that is mostly dead but has one limb still alive, or one branch. And that's the largest alligator juniper I can find that has one branch still alive. And he said two things. One, the dugout is right there at that. You can see some walls still remaining. I could not find any walls. I walked all around that, but somewhere in here is where that Geronimo lived. He also said that's the largest alligator juniper in the state, if I'm looking at the right tree. Supposedly that's the biggest alligator juniper in the state. As you can see, it's barely alive. Again, I couldn't find the actual dugout, but it's in here somewhere. And I started down there at that tree, and I worked my way all the way up to this tree because it matched what he described as a mostly dead alligator juniper with one side still alive. So I'm assuming this is where Geronimo or Geronimo lived for a short period of time. And he was an interesting guy in his own life. Like I say, he was a ranch hand for Adolphus Williams of the Williams Ranch House. But he had an interesting story of his own. Well, I'm sitting in the last of the shade. I think it'll probably be in the sun the rest of the day. It's 11:30 here. says it's 80 degrees. That big tree is just right up there a ways where that Geronimo lived, and as I was reading about him, his mom was Apache, or yeah, Mescalero Apache. His dad was from Mexico, and then he married a girl from Mexico, but they lived in Texas, and they had 14 kids. I guess the first 3 died shortly after childbirth, but the rest lived. They lived around Fort Davis. Then they moved to New Mexico, where they homesteaded some land, and their land was right beside one of the largest ranches in New Mexico, or at least in that part of the state. And the guy that owned that land also owned a general store, so that Geronimo, he worked cattle on his land, and then he worked in that general store for that guy. But after a few years, that guy decided he wanted all the land and wanted Geronimo's land. So he tried to buy him out or force him out. Went to the local authorities and tried to take his land through the courts. None of that worked, so he just thought he'd kill him. So he ambushed him once, and Geronimo was able to escape, but he decided the land wasn't worth his life, so he moved back to Texas. Eventually got in with Adolphus Williams and came here to the Guadalupes and started working cattle. Like I say, he built a little dugout, 2-room dugout cabin up there by that tree, and lived here right by Guadalupe Springs. So then when that ranch went broke, he moved back to Van Horn, and I believe he died. He was 55 when he died, born in the 1870s and died in the 1920s. So, what an interesting life. Be tough to try to make it out here. I'm going to keep going up the trail and see what it's like when I get out of this canyon and into the sun, but hopefully the wind is still blowing a little bit, so maybe it won't feel as hot. But it's pretty warm right now. All right, I'm at the junction with the Salt Basin Overlook Trail. At the base of El Capitan. So I'm going to head up the trail this way. But you guys are going to head off down the trail that way. And the good news, it'll be a lot cooler down there. But we'll meet back up here at the top of the El Capitan Trail, right over there. I think back up there ways, before I came down in this creek, there was looked like a trail junction, but the left looked like the better path. But I know when we come up from the highway, we have to get on this ridge to connect to the Salt Basin Trail. So I bet the trail's up there, and I got off of it somewhere back there. But again, we're going to cross it again, and I think that's the trail, the spur trail right down there. So just have to get down this mess. It's an easy way or a fun way. Didn't settle solid. Alright. Just keep on going down. Well, I came across these rock cairns. So there's another set on that rock there. Unfortunately, I came this way. So I don't know if the trail came down right there or if I was on the trail all along. But Apparently I'm back on it, for what it's worth. I've seen a bunch of this green rock. I don't know what that is. It's pretty. I'm still walking down this creek. This may not be the right trail, but it's an interesting one. Not seen any more rock cairns since the last two, but I didn't see a trail out of the creek there either, so oh wow, not going up that, thankfully. It's kind of neat. Cool tree. And some more stacked rocks. More rock cairns there. Is that a trail out of here? I think we may be back on the trail. Yep. Well, that was fun down in that creek, but it was so slow. All right, here we are. That's the junction back on the highway. And the Salt Basin loop keeps going on. We just came around that little hill on the left here, and looking out that way, that's the highway Paso. See the cars coming up. There's El Capitan. Like an old stock tank. No water. wonder if this was part of the Williams Ranch. This was their tank. Cool looking rock. Not sure that is, but much. Say temperature's 56 degrees. The temperature's not bad, it's just that wind. And I have a feeling once we get around this point, we'll be on the other side of this ridge. The wind may get a lot worse. We wouldn't think it could get any worse, but I have a feeling it could be. Good view of the highway down here. You can see the rest area down there. Some neat rock formations right here on the side. We're getting close to topping out and dropping over the backside of this ridge. And it's getting pretty rough. Well, here's a rock with some more weathering. I don't know if I assume the rain causes that. Well, I'm definitely in the wind now. Pretty good view off the side here. Here's the intersection to go off to the Basin Overlook. Cars right here. There's no sign or telling you what it is. But over here just a little way, you can see it. inside the park. That's all gypsum sand. Drive out there too. Made it. Still pretty windy. I think this is just a funnel where all the wind hitting this side of the mountain and pushing around. And this is just a low spot where it goes over and out. I got a feeling it's always windy right here. You can hear me. Tough climb to get up to here, but hopefully it'll level off. The next half won't be so bad. This is a cool view of El Capitan. We just peeked out over that ridge there and coming across this traverse. I think we're just going to traverse pretty much the same level all the way across. We may gain a little bit, but those pink flowers are sure pretty. Hopefully there'll be some closer to the trail. There's some on that right there. A bunch. Once we passed the junction with the Basin trail and started this way, not many people come this way, or fewer people come this way. So, the trail's a little overgrown, it's pretty rocky, it's not very well maintained. In fact, it doesn't exist at all right here. We gotta go across to there. It may not be as hard as the front side as far as steepness goes, but it's still going to be tough because the trail's so poorly maintained. Whew. I've come about 6 miles, so looks like I have a little over 3 to go. This will be the west side of El Capitan. And then I'm guessing that one there is going to be Guadalupe Peak. I never noticed these long avalanche runoffs all the way down. And I really don't see where the trail goes across there. Oh well. Making progress though. Well, I'm still making my way across this long traverse. This trail's really washed out. It crosses these little washes. It's pretty much a rock crawl. I think this is Bone Canyon, which means I got to get over this, and then I'll be in the Chimard Canyon, which will be the hopefully where we start down. But still got a little ways to go to make it across this long traverse.